into our council session. Is that good, everyone?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, laws of the state of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2022. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of the schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of the schedule in her office during the year 2022. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied with regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cesari? Here. Councilman David?
Here.
Councilman Finestrella?
Here.
Councilman Pence?
Here.
Councilman Puglisi?
Here.
And Councilman Zimmerman?
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of council meeting of May 4th, 2022?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Various advisories were received from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, and reports were received from the clerk's office and the DPW for April 2022.
Is there a motion to accept communications and reports?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I just interject, Mayor, real quick?
Yes.
On the certificate of appreciation, I'd like to table that to the next meeting. That individual would like his family to be present.
Okay, we will table that.
Thank you.
Appreciation. Okay, so we're going to move on. We have two promotions this evening. Sergeant Christopher Bryson is being promoted to lieutenant, and Detective Sean Kavrick is being promoted to sergeant. So we're going to start with Sergeant Christopher Bryson.
We have to vote on?
We have to vote on it.
Oh, we have to vote?
One second.
I'm
Let's do a
sorry.
roll call.
I don't have that here.
That's okay.
And you can do the...
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to promote Officer Bryson to the rank of lieutenant.
Sergeant Bryson, to the rank of lieutenant.
I'm sorry, Sergeant Bryson to the rank of lieutenant.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Roll call for that?
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
So we need a motion for...
I'd like to make a motion for promotion of Sean Kavrick to detective.
No,
No,
that's
to
Detective
sergeant.
Kavrick to sergeant.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to call up Lieutenant Bryson and his family for swearing in to, or Sergeant Bryson to lieutenant. We do have a Bible.
I have a Bible.
Always prepared.
Who's going to hold the Bible? Yes. All right. I, Christopher Bryson,
I, Christopher Bryson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and bear true faith
and bear true faith
and
and
allegiance
allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority
under the authority
of the people.
of the people.
I do further solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform the duties
perform the duties
of Kenilworth Police Department Lieutenant
of Kenilworth Police Department Lieutenant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Madam Mayor, if I can have a minute while you have him sign that. Lieutenant Bryson is a 21-year veteran of this department. We hired him back in 2001, where he'd come from a dispatcher in Warwick. He worked about 10 years in patrol, was a tremendous police officer. He was rewarded with an assignment to the Detective Bureau in 2011. 2011 to 2014, he was an outstanding detective. Was promoted to sergeant in 2014, where he remained until being promoted today. Chris is one of those guys that as he's moved through the ranks, I've done more and more stuff on him, and he's handled everything flawlessly. He's our liaison to New Jersey State Police for our crime reporting. He's our TAC officer. He was accreditation manager while he was in the Detective Bureau. And I think most impressively, he is our field officer training coordinator, which means he supervises all our field training officers. So all these terrifically trained professional officers we have to come out of the academy and to transfer over, he's the one that handles that. Chris is going to be starting his new assignment on Monday as administrative lieutenant. I'm looking forward to working with him, with his innovation, his ideas, his motivation. I'd like to specifically recognize his wife, Casey, Dylan and Kelly, his family, his brothers here, his mom and dad are here, and his father is a retired chief from Hillside, and I know how proud I am. John, I'm pretty sure you're just as proud, maybe a little bit more. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Chief.
The floor is yours.
Appreciate it. So I feel very blessed. I want to thank my family, my friends for all their love and support, and for always understanding when I'm absent and I can't make things. I want to thank my officers. They always make me look good. I want to thank Chief Seuss for always believing in me, and trusting me, and giving me more and more work. I appreciate it. And, Mayor and Council, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's an exciting new chapter of my career. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Sean.
I, Sean Cabot,
I, Sean Capper,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and bear true faith
and bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly
I do further solemnly
swear
swear
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially, and justly
and justly
perform the duties of
the duties of
Kenilworth Police Department Sergeant
Kenilworth Police Department Sergeant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
So unfortunately, Sean took the wrong badge, so I have a wallet badge here, so this is going to go off as a hand-to-hand transaction. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Again, while Sean's signing his life away here, I just want to note that Sean came to us in 2011. We first hired him as a dispatcher. We saw what he had back then, and he was hired as a full-time police officer in 2014. He was a tremendous police officer, had a great nose for the job back then, made a lot of tremendous drug arrests. He again was rewarded with an assignment to the Detective Bureau in 2020. For the last 3 years, he's been over in the Detective Bureau. He's a great tech guy, he's a tremendous investigator. And I have to be honest, as much as I'm happy he's moving up to sergeant, I'm gonna miss him in the Detective Bureau because he's one of our best guys. It's highlighted by the fact in the last couple of months, he recovered several $100,000 for 2 different businesses in this town that were victims of fraud. So I think that says a lot for him. And again, like with Lieutenant Bryson, I want to specifically recognize his wife, Caitlin. You know, this job is hard on all of us as police officers, but on our wives, it's even harder. So Casey and Caitlin, it's a credit to you guys, and as much proud of you guys as we are of them. Reagan and AJ, his son, and I want to specifically mention Sean's mom, Marlene is here. She hasn't been feeling too well, and it really warms my heart that you can be here to see your son. I know you must be proud, because I know I am. Sarge, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chief. I want to thank the Chief for your confidence in me. Really appreciate it. Mayor and Council, thank you for this opportunity. My wife, Caitlin, who's looking forward to seeing me back up nights and taking care of a toddler and an infant. She'll hold it down, as she always does. My friends and family who are here, specifically my mom, who's been through a battle these last few months. And I'm so happy to have you here, Mom. Everybody else, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Thank you.
And Mayor, if I can have a moment before we conclude, I would just like specifically to go on the record. I want to thank you, Mayor Karlovich, for your support of the police department as always. The mayor and council, specifically the Public Safety Committee, for the interviews, for getting these promotions across the line. This is a difficult time to be a police officer. It's a tough environment to be a police officer in. And I have to tell you, these are the best I got. These are 2 of the best guys that I have. So it's a proud moment. This administration always has supported us. And as a governing body, as a town, we should be very proud of it. These are the good times. So thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, I'd like to move on to the finance report. Councilman Puglisi.
Thank you, Mayor. I asked the CFO to, if he would, and it was a time-consuming event, to put together a schedule as to the amount of debt that the town is carrying. We know on the federal level they're spending money faster than they can print it. So I just thought, how much is Kenilworth's debt? And I never really knew throughout all the years I served on as a member of the mayor and council exactly how much our debt was. So I asked Ken Blum, and apparently it wasn't as easy to find out as one would think, to create a list, a schedule of debt historical schedule going back to 2010 to date. And I looked through the numbers, and it's our debt. It's gradually increasing, of course, because inflation, right? So, I looked at 2010, which was the first year that Ken was actually able to get numbers for me, or I asked Ken to get numbers for me, and I compared it to the end of 2021. And overall, when you include principal and interest, the increase was roughly $300,000. When you take into consideration inflation, which I did, it was reduced to a difference of $120,000, which is approximately 10% of the debt load, which at the end of the 2021 was approximately $1.2 million. Although it does indicate with inflation a 10% increase, I do believe it to be within the realm of within the margin of error, I would say, because it's not just a straight line going up, it goes up and down, but it has remained fairly steady from 2014 to date. So any concerns that I did have about the debt that the town is carrying, was quelled by this chart, and I'll welcome, if anyone wants to see it, I'll forward it to anybody. Yeah, so that quelled my concerns as to our debt load, but it's still something we have to keep an eye on moving forward, absolutely. So, especially now, I mean, the interest rates for the past, I guess, starting from 2021, for about 3-4 years, they were pretty low, right? I mean, I refinanced my house and it's a shade over 2%. Now, and the rates are going to go up, and as everything else is. So we do have to keep an extra eye out for that. As to the budget, unfortunately, due to conflicting schedules with Ken and the committee, we will not be able to meet until June, and we'll be working on dates with that. And we just need one more meeting to tie up any loose ends we had, and then from there we could present to the governing body. That's all I have.
I'd like you to forward that to me, just take a look at it.
Absolutely, no, it's actually interesting.
Self-esteem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Puglisi. Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, June 4th, the DPW, the lot will be open. That's a Saturday. It'll be open from 8 to 12. You're allowed to drop off recycling, e-waste, motor oil, and scrap metal. They're also open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2:30. As of April 25th, Lewis Wood Memorial Park, which is 16th Street Park, has been closed for upgrades. We have begun Phase 1, which includes building repairs and tree removal. Please be advised that during this process, the playground equipment, basketball court, and restroom facilities will be closed. The ball fields will still remain open. DPW Superintendent would like to congratulate Ms. Carrie Seneca, the DPW Employee of the Month for April 2022. Aside from her numerous duties, Ms. Seneca produced an extensive report to FEMA for potential reimbursement of approximately $40,000 to the borough in reference to our Hurricane Ida operation. And the only other thing would be, he would like to recognize Matthew Jankunas for completing 1 year of service. Mr. Jankunas has been a great addition to our thriving department. On another note, which is what everybody's been waiting for, there's been a flyer that went out. The north side bulk waste cleanup will be June 13th. It starts on the 13th. It'll keep going until it's completed. The south side is June 20th, same thing. Once it starts, it'll be going until it's completed. The only material that is collected is furniture, toys, storm windows, rugs, storm doors, clothing, windows, wood fencing, lawn furniture, carpeting, toilet screens, wood furniture, metal furniture, grills, and every effort should be made to properly and safely containerize or bundle materials for collection whenever possible. The only other thing I got is the same issues that we've had over the last couple of years. The property on North Michigan, once again, is 2-foot high
I
grass.
saw that. Yep.
Needs to be rectified. I don't know what's going on with that house once again, but I did notice there was an orange sign on the door yesterday. It's now gone. There's just some windows open.
There's people are living there. I saw someone come out yesterday.
But we need to find out and
Yeah.
do something with that house. Also,
It's an ongoing
another house
problem.
on 376 Coolidge, which is where those people supposedly moved to, the same conditions. are
They own
happening
both,
now.
they own both houses,
Well, the
so
same
they go from
conditions
one
are
to
on
the other.
Coolidge now, so we gotta look
Right,
into that.
I understand.
So, and then Superintendent Mike did tell me
Problem.
that they did do the property on East Street again, because that was the same thing. And as I've been saying over the last 6 years, we need to take that piece of property and sell it. I don't know what we're doing. We've been taking care of it for over 6 years now.
Well, we should have brought that up today, the
Well, we're
attorney.
doing it now. We have a right to eminent domain it
What do
and
we
do
need?
something with it. We got tax liens on it, so let's do something.
We don't have to, we could just foreclose, the town has a lien on it, we could just, the town could foreclose
There's
it.
already a lien on it, though?
There should be a couple of liens on it.
A tax lien or,
I don't know what lien they're putting on.
Tax lien.
It should be a tax lien, right?
No, it's not a tax lien. Tax lien, I'm not aware of, I don't think I'll pay taxes, but there is numerous liens for property.
okay, maybe you could look into it, see if we could foreclose on those liens.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a 30 by 100 lot, of which, if if we bought it, we sell it, you make the same arrangements that we did, well, I think.
Well, it's not a buildable lot.
Oh, well, all right. It's not buildable technically, but after we got sued for South 23rd Street and North Avenue, we could make special arrangements to build a suitable house there.
What's the address again?
Oh, 8th Street? I don't know what the address is.
Was it the one we saw the church there?
Yep, yes.
What is it? 200 block. Yes, I think it's maybe 215 North 8th. It's just a vacant piece of grass between the church and the two-family house.
Can somebody send me the liens that are on it?
Yeah, we could just,
Lisa.
yeah, I'll reach out to Lisa to send you a copy of the, of any tax liens. So, but Mark, if we foreclose on it, right, so we own it then, right, so what would be the plan, so?
Well, my plan would be, we sell it to someone who wants to buy it. We could put a 25-foot house, 20-foot wide house, like they do in Elizabeth. I hate to say it, but it's a buildable lot. You can put something there that's usable for somebody.
Well, wouldn't this be a planning board decision?
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's an idea.
Not the council.
We have to
The one side's a church, right, so I'm guessing they wouldn't buy it,
Well, I
so.
wouldn't give it to the church.
Right, and the other side, I think it's a two-family house.
What's the issue with giving it to the church?
Because then they don't pay taxes on it again. It's another freebie.
Well, they'll maintain it, though.
They don't even
We still
maintain the property you
benefit.
got there now. Have you been by that church? Who knows what's going on there? They got dumpsters all over the place. The grass is high. They haven't been doing nothing. They don't have services there. It's another freebie.
Well, at least the town will cut the grass, maybe we could put something there, maybe a monument or something.
Can we make it a little park?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
You could make it a little park, but you could also
Right.
sell it. I don't understand the issue with not selling it and putting a small house.
I like the park idea.
Well, the park
We're
is-
setting a precedent that I don't think is
We're already
fits.
talking. Whatever, I'm talking.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to go back to DPW real quick on something that Superintendent Calixto and I had discussed. May 15th to May 21st is Public Works Week. And I'd like to have you just stand up real quick and come forward. Just want to read something about American Public Works Association is proud to announce the theme Ready and Resilient for the 2022 National Public Works Week. Within every public works profession lies a superhero, which is dramatically represented in this year's poster that the American Public Works Association put out. Public works professionals are always ready to serve their communities and resilient as ever in their abilities to pick themselves up off the ground after encountering challenges. The Ready and Resilient theme highlights the ability of these professionals to perform regular public works duties and be ready at a moment's notice to react as first responders during natural disasters and overcome trials seen in the field. Public works superheroes help keep communities strong by providing an infrastructure of services in transportation, water, wastewater and stormwater treatment, public buildings and spaces, parks and grounds, emergency management and first response, solid waste and right-of-way management. They are what make our communities great places to live and work. So I'd like everyone in that's here this evening to join us in celebrating these superheroes that we call our Department of Public Works here in county. Thank you for your service and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Mike, you're doing a great job.
Absolutely.
We did also have a proclamation last meeting for the
Right. No,
DPW.
I know you did, but it's still
Yep.
technically still
Still May.
that, and I'd like you to tell everybody too what you told me that you've done for our DPW too, with meals for this week and how you've gone above and beyond too. Turn around and just let, so the camera can see you.
Sure. Public Works Week, celebrated this week. We do numerous activities within the town. We're planting trees. We're giving out reusable Kennewood Police Department. And we're just trying to do our job to the best of our ability. But I want to thank everybody, especially Councilman Zimmerman, for recognizing us.
No, thank you. And we recognize you as a governing body, and you're doing a great job. You know, I know.
The yard looks fantastic.
The police, the yard looks fantastic.
Boulevard,
I know
everything.
during, you know, the storms we've had in the past, from hurricanes to Ida recently, you've gone above and beyond. You've done a great job with cleaning up all the refuse that houses have put out, and, you know, and during the storm itself, supplementing the police department and fire department and helping us out. And both you and your men deserve, you know,
Thank
another
you.
round of applause for all you do for us. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. And moving into the police department, also May 15th to May 21st is Police Week. So we have Chief Seuss here in the corner. And I'd like to say we as a governing body in our Kenilworth community want to remember and honor all federal, state, county, and local officers who were killed or disabled in the line of duty. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. National Police Week pays special recognition to law enforcement officers who have lost their lives serving the public and protecting others. I would also like to take this opportunity during Police Week to honor and recognize our Kenilworth Police Department. I can think of no truer definition of a hero than that of a police officer. For all those here tonight who answered the call, who unfortunately left, but who answered the call to keep our community safe, you know that every kiss from your spouse, every hug from your child, every visit with the parent means a little bit more. So I ask that you honor the lives of your fallen colleagues by giving as much of yourself to your loved ones as you give every day in service to your country and our community. We all know that without their love and support, your service would not be possible. And like Chief Seuss knows, and I know, and other councilmen know, family is everything. The current crime crisis facing our nation, our state, our county, and community starts with Kenilworth stepping up and supporting our law enforcement officers. Our brave officers face enormous challenges, yet they choose to wear the uniform and badge of honor every single day. It's not enough to fully fund them, they must know we have their backs. So as National Police Week unfolds, I want to say something that our law enforcement officers don't hear enough. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication. And thank you for your sacrifice. You are truly appreciated and supported by the Borough of Kenilworth. Thank you. But I would like to just turn it over to Chief Seuss real quick.
I'll say this, I appreciate your kind words, Councilman, but Mayor Qualovich, your administration and district governing body have shown your appreciation numerous times. I don't need a proclamation or that, because I see how you guys support us on a daily basis. And that means more to us than any piece of paper or anything. You guys are awesome to us. I come to work every day and I see a blue line painted down the middle of the street. I can't tell you what that means to me. So to us, we appreciate the support that you give us every single day, not just in Police Week or what have you. And we're blessed to have wonderful residents, an awesome governing body. And I just do want to take this opportunity too, while I'm at it, to thank Mike Callisto from the DPW and tell you that we worked with him very closely last week on the street fair. And Councilman Zimmerman, Councilman Davidman can tell you, this is the best working relationship we've had with the DPW in the 27 years that I've been a police officer. And we're blessed to have awesome departments in this town, people who work together. That's the fabric of this town. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
And that's it. Thank you for the promotions this evening. It was a tough decision for the police committee, and I want to congratulate both Lieutenant Bryson and Sergeant Kavrick, and I wish them the best in their new roles serving our borough. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, Councilman Fenestrella.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, the Planning and Zoning meeting, last Thursday on May 12th, there was a presentation by the Board of Ed providing us insight on the renovations, which were long overdue, and the expansion that they are looking to have done, and which will be voted on in the next election. Hopefully gets passed because the school is in dire need of
I did ask,
upgrades.
I spoke to the superintendent today, I did ask him if he would come and do this presentation for the governing body, so that everyone here is aware of the plans. So that we'll be setting that up in the next couple of months.
You know, one of the biggest things is they want to expand the area for pre-K because they have to shut out so many people that it's just, sad that you can't allow pre-K kids that want to come to school. So by doing that and upgrading the HVAC and the auditoriums and it's
Science
definitely going to be
labs.
a huge benefit for the school.
For the kids. Kids
Yes.
deserve it.
Absolutely. There was just another application for a minor subdivision, which was approved. And the next meeting will be held June 9th, the second Thursday of the month, 6:30 work session and 7 PM meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Fenestrella. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Pence.
Thank you, Mayor. No, nothing from the fire department to report, and for the rec department, we got all the information from the town engineer on all the projects going on in the parks. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Pence. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilwoman Cesari, apologize.
Okay, bear with me tonight. You see my desk here. Okay. Library. First of all, they want to thank the DPW. They wrote me an email. I'd like to read it to Mike and his team. My team and I, meaning the library, wanted to extend a big thank you to the Kenilworth Department of Public Works for all their hard work landscaping our library. Not only did they trim weed and mulch, they even planted flowers. Big exclamation point. It was good. This was a big undertaking and the results are incredible. We have received many compliments on how lovely our grounds look. We are grateful to the DPW for taking such good care of our library grounds. And we also wish to thank the mayor and council for their ongoing support of the Kenilworth Public Library. I must say that I saw that. I went and looked when they said that, and it was cleaned up nicely. It really looks good.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, really looks good. Okay, the library, of course, they have their programs. The yarnies are still going on Thursdays. Tuesdays, they have, LAPSIT, they have children events. Good Time String Bands on Wednesday and Thursday, story time, as usual, presented for kids ages 3 and up, as usual, when they have it on Thursday. Friday, May 20th and 27th is Fun Friday Crafts for kids ages 4 to 9. It'll be held at 3:30 p.m. That needs registration. Okay, that's all I have for the library. Board of Ed, they've hired 3 new teachers for the 22-23 year. Substitute teachers and aides were also hired. I don't know how many, because they're always looking for substitutes and substitute aides. Mr. Brian Luciani will be retiring after the 2022-2023 school year. The school has okayed the use of the field for fireworks, which will be on June 25th, and rain date is June 26th. I heard this on the radio. I just wanted to just add to this. And as far as the teachers go, the teachers have been using their own money to buy supplies for classes, and they did an average on it, and it's about they spend about $450 an average of their own money just to supply their class with stuff. So I mean, it's kind of sad actually, because we don't get more money for that, and teachers go for it, but if you're a good teacher, you do what you have to, and I think that's amendable. Very great.
Absolutely.
And lastly, the big the gender ID program. Parents may opt out their child if they choose to. So we had a discussion last week about it, and that I found that out, and I wanted to make a record of that. Okay, Board of Health, actually, I have just a couple things for April, but I don't, the meeting is tomorrow night, and I am not able to make that meeting, so Joe, would you mind going?
Tomorrow night? Sure.
Actually, I'll just forward you the link, because it's on Zoom. You okay with that?
Oh, sure.
Okay,
I love
great,
Zoom.
good. Because I haven't made a meeting, and I feel bad, so.
It's conflicting
Everything's
with-
been all over the, yeah.
The departments have the meetings on the same night.
Same nights, yeah, usually it's usually the first Thursday. I have the library, the Board of Health, and, yeah, library and Board of Health, which would, yeah,
On the same night.
on the same night. Okay, all right, so, would you, thank you, I appreciate it, I'll send you the link later.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, we have the seniors. We need to do something there. We've been getting a lot of calls, the seniors themselves. You know, I know the president, the vice president, secretary, and treasurer, who they are, but there's a lot of complaints, and they don't have anybody to contact.
Right. We
That's
need
how
to
they
hire
feel.
someone.
Especially with
Senior
like the
director.
phone, that they would, you know, answer the phone and they would get the announcement of what's going on.
Right.
So that's, you know, they have a lot of complaints about that. Their activities, they only have some exercise, which is, nobody seems to like it, and it conflicts with their meeting schedule. I don't know what to do about that, but I think they could work it out, I'm sure. Because, well, they're both on the same day, so they're going to have to figure that out and maybe work around it.
Maybe change the time
Yep.
to after the meeting or before.
Okay.
Or another day.
And the door in the back, they say it should be fixed by the vendor. I don't know. These are just the complaints I'm telling you that I've been getting, and I said I will pass them on. Another complaint was, why can't they take food home after their lunches? And it's a county rule that you cannot take doggy bags, or nor could the food be used the next day for lunch, or it's just, that's it. You know, that's actually a Board of Health thing, so. And as I mentioned before, during, I think, work session, paving the parking lot, they want to know about that. And this is I'm going to end with this. Now they do have to pay for coffee. It used to be free. I'm sorry. They're up in arms about that. I can understand it, really.
Why do they have to pay for coffee?
I don't know.
Who made that rule?
I don't know. I was just told they have to pay for coffee, and they never did before, so.
Oh, well, let's look into that.
I'm passing it on.
I think we can provide coffee.
Good. I want my reports.
Thank you, Councilwoman Tesseri.
Thank you.
Okay, next for council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Zimmerman and Finistraw.
Councilwoman Tesseri?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrelli?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman DeGreassi?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Resolutions 148 to 152 are listed on the consent agenda and will be enacted by one motion. All the items will be reported individually and full in the minutes. We have 3 ordinances for public hearing and adoption this evening. Ordinance 2022-04, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 170, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 7, Sidewalk Maintenance, Section 170-27 through 170-30, to provide for maintenance and repair of residential and non-residential sidewalks by owners of abutting land of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to provide for maintenance and repair of residential and non-residential sidewalks by owners of abutting land of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code. Is there a motion to open the floor for public discussion on 2022-04 only?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please step forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to, I'm sorry, I don't need to close that. I'd like a motion to, close the hearing. Sorry,
Make that
my
motion,
script
Mayor.
is a little.
Second.
Councilman Zimmerman, Councilman Finestrella.
Be hereby resolved that ordinance 2022-04 entitled Ordinance Amending and Supplementing Chapter 170 Streets and Sidewalks, Article 7, Sidewalk Maintenance, Section 170-27 through 170-30, to provide for maintenance and repair of residential and non-residential sidewalks by owners of abutting land of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code. Was introduced and approved on first reading at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on April 20th, 2022, and approved for final passage at the regular meeting of the Borough Council of May 18th, 2022, after all persons interested were given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its final adoption. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Second ordinance for public hearing and adoption is ordinance 2022-05, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 1, General Provisions, Article 1, General Penalty, Section 1-1, Violations and Penalties of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code.
Purpose of this ordinance is to amend the general penalty provision in the Code of the Borough of Kenilworth so that it is in accordance with the NJSA 40:49-5, which sets for the penalties and violations of municipal ordinances. Is there a motion to open the floor for public discussion on this ordinance only?
Motion.
Second.
Does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance 2022-05? Please step forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor?
Make that motion.
Okay, is there a motion for adoption?
Motion.
Second.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2022-06, entitled an ordinance, the Borough of Kenilworth entered into a lease agreement with Kenilworth Little League for the use of unpaid portion of Halsey Street between 14th Street and 13th Street between Block 30, Lot 8.01, Block 29, Lot 1, and Block 28, Lot 1, more commonly known as the Little League parking lot for youth recreation, baseball, and softball purposes. Was introduced and approved on first reading at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on April 20th, 2022, and approved for final passage at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on May 18th, 2020, after all persons interested were given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its final adoption. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Open meeting.
One more? Is it the Little League?
Just a quick question, Mayor?
Yep.
I don't think we took a roll call on 05.
Right,
Oh,
that's what we're talking about.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
And the Little League?
I just read
06, yep,
that.
okay. Okay, the purpose of this ordinance prior to the roll call is to authorize the borough to enter into a lease agreement with the Kenilworth Little League. Is there a motion to open the floor for public discussion on 2022-06 only?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say for this ordinance? On this ordinance only, please step forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Okay,
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Pence?
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
And Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
okay. I'd like a motion to open the floor to the public.
Make that motion?
Second.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Good evening, Bob Herbert, 14 North 12th
Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to let me come up and make a few suggestions. One is like the VFW parking lot. If we get a new application for redevelopment, affordable housing, maybe the committee, whoever's involved with that negotiation, could ask that developer to make a donation for unforeseen improvements. I know other communities have done it, like
absolutely.
Orwell, a contractor donated a whole park. And then another contractor here in Union County did the parking lot in the grammar school. Little things like that, that, we're welcoming them to our community.
Yes.
But we're also asking for a little help because
Of
we are
course,
small.
I agree 100%.
So just keep that in consideration for the future, And then, I was reading last meeting's ordinance regarding Chapter 3, deleting permitted use for funeral homes and churches in our downtown business district.
Right.
And I just want to bring up a point that I'm asking Mayor and Council to just take in consideration and look at it. In that ordinance, one of the things where you were only allowed 80% of lot coverage in the downtown business district. Probably 98% of our properties are 100% covered. So, God forbid if a business gets destroyed by some type of accident or nature, when they go to rebuild it, we don't have nothing in place, they're going to have to go back to the board. So my recommendation is, under the land use law, there's a thing called pre-existing non-conforming uses, which does apply in our downtown business district, and bulk requirements, like a condition. And you have to adopt that ordinance, which, since you're making a change, maybe you guys can amend it and add that, and it'll benefit our local business owners that are permitted now. God forbid their building goes on fire or something, they can put back without the expense of going back to the planning board. And then as an example, the church that's already in place, it might be harder or depreciate the value if they have to go and sell it, that somebody wants to purchase it, or God forbid, it's destroyed. They would have to go for a variance, unless we put in place pre-existing non-conforming uses and bulk requirements. So we might want to look at that number, and change the language somewhere where we can protect our local businesses and property owners in our downtown business district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I know you missed me.
Of course we do. Welcome back.
Mary Mickens, 725 Monmouth Avenue. First off, I am very, very, very upset to see that we have lost Laura because of bickering. We had the most wonderful woman that did so much here, was so good, and we lost her to another town. You're going to have a very, very hard time to replace her. I remember someone saying, when you become a councilman or anything else, you are not a Republican or a Democrat. You are for all the people. And the bickering needs to stop. Don't always be looking in someone else's backyard to see what you can bring up, to see what we can make them look silly or something else. We need to work together to be the best town we are. I brag about you people all the time. There's no place like Kenilworth. You need something done, 2 minutes you have something. You have the police department, you have the public works, you have the mayor, you have whatever, the council people. But if you're gonna bicker over little things, instead of trying to say, I don't care that she's a Republican, I don't care that he's a Democrat. Let's see what we can do together. Maybe we could figure out this is the better way. Not saying, see, we made them look foolish. Now we'll get more. I don't care if it's 6 Democrats, 6 Republicans, 5 Democrats, 1 Republican, whatever. Let's work together. But I do want to compliment, and I hate to see him even not being running, Mark David. We have never had a DPW run like we have since Mark has taken it over. And forget about it, Mike. And I've been in this town 50 years. We've never had the things done that we have had done now. So let's look at what's good in this town and what we can do to make it better. And stop trying to make it, well, we can get this one out, we can do that. We're all here to work one another. I mean, I've been working social concerns for 40 years. I don't want to leave. And I get help from people, Democrats, Republicans, everything. Police department, DPW. And because of that is why I can run as well as I do. We're helping the Methodist Church. We're helping the other churches in town. We're helping anyone that's in need. Not because they're a Republican, not because they're a Democrat, they're an independent. Please start trying to run this place the same way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Welcome back, Mary Mickich. Rich Pacerno, 241 Fayette Avenue. There's something on my arm. I just wanted to say that I thought that street fair went fantastic. The police, DPW, the residents, the people from our town, everybody conducted themselves fantastic, and I thought it just was flawless. Within an hour, the boulevard was cleaned up, it was policed properly, they let us come in and out as vendors, and then Mike did a fantastic job on that scooter, running up and down, making sure everybody was taken care of. So I want to thank the mayor and council for partaking in that. But I do want to address something that Mr. Herbert said about the houses of worship and funeral parlors on the boulevard. Many years ago, when we got started with the 75 by 100 lots for 2-family homes, we put language into the master plan that covered those non-conforming uses, because if something catastrophic happened to one of those 2-family houses that were on a 50 by 100, we also had to protect those people as well. So there's already language written into the ordinances that pertain to exactly what Mr. Herbert said. So I understand the concern, but we also have to understand why the master plan was brought before the governing body to make sure that our parking and our residents were not over flooded with more businesses like that. Not that they're not needed, but they're just not needed on the boulevard. But we understand the non-conforming use at this point, but that's already in the master plan. Just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Carmen Bucco, 238 North 18th Street.
Good evening.
Dude, that yard is cleaner than my desk. So you're more
It's
than
amazing.
welcome to come
It's
up.
amazing.
I've never seen the DPW yard.
It's amazing. Went by today, I was just,
Kudos to the DPW. They do a fantastic job. I'm very meticulous in everything I do, and you guys they're there, no questions asked. so
100% agree.
Well deserved. I missed
Promotions.
Thank you. I missed the promotions. I hope we don't forget the significant others of our law enforcement. They wake up every morning and send their husband or wife or significant other off to duty. So I also think that maybe sometimes, in some points, these people should be recognized as well.
It's a nice suggestion.
Just a quick question, if I could refer to Rich. Does that mean, so if there's a building on the boulevard, it's a business building, and something, say, happens to the second floor, even though there's an 80% coverage, they're still allowed to build on that building, or?
If it's a
May I speak?
Yes.
Every approach and state your name. Again, my name is Richard Paserno, 241 Fayetteville Avenue. To the question is, yes, they can build it back in the state in which it was in. They can't expand on the footprint, they can't oversize the lot, but if it was something catastrophic, that would be taken.
So the owners are...
They are, yes, from the way we did that years ago, they are protected.
Last but not least, the street fair was amazing. It was the first time I got involved. I used it for my foundation. I can't believe how many outsiders actually come to this town that wish they lived here. So I moved here 10 years ago. It was between you guys and Westfield. And I come from Belleville, where they don't even say hi to you, they say F you. So I just drove down this dead-end street, and all the neighbors came out, and it was a very humbling experience. And I forgot your name, I'm sorry. No. Mary. What she said, it really is true. This community is totally different from the communities I've come from. And I'm always a firm believer in Hakuna Matata, right? I think we can all do better. There's always ways to improve. And I just hope, tonight was so quiet, it was humbling. I truly hope that we can all work together, and really, I mean, this town deserves what it already has and better. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
As to the street fair, I think moving it to the spring was actually another good idea that we instituted
Just one thing.
4 or 5 years ago.
It was very disheartening. I saw people walking dogs, and these dogs were panting. One dog I thought was going to have a heat stroke. I went and bought 2 bottles of water, and he downed it. So if there's anything we could do, can we keep our pets involved? I love my animals. Can we keep our pets, figure something out?
Maybe you can, if you're up there next year, you can put a bowl out on your table.
There you go.
It was a hot day, a lot of people, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was hot.
Had a hard time, some people had a hard time.
It was very, very humid.
Very hot and humid, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm sure. Bob Herbert, 14 North 12th Street. I agree with Mr. Persano that the existing buildings are there, but any non-conforming buildings, again, under the law, we're supposed to create a registration form so that non-conforming property, whether it's residential or business, they're supposed to register it, so it gives them the power to put back exactly what they had there, under the land use law. That's why I want to add that we should at least, maybe, Mr. Persano, maybe your planning board could go to the professionals and see about creating one of these registered forms, and then we can go out and notify the non-conforming properties that, they should register to protect themselves. And I'd be more than glad to volunteer and go around, and once that form is created, and hand them out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the floor for public discussion.
Motion.
Second.
Does anyone else have anything else to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
Just one thing, Mayor. Chief Soucette told me that they're going to have a little thing back at the Knights of Columbus that everybody's invited to for the promotions, the PBA, correct?
Yes, Chief. That's correct.
Thank you very much. Party at the PB.
No, Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus.
Party at the Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus.
Tonight?
Okay.
Right now, as soon as we finish.
In John's mind.
Oh, they're there already.
Right tomorrow.
I'm not get tired, but this is our last meeting before Memorial Day, so let's just keep that in our minds over Memorial Day weekend. And Bob Eugene's always does something at the VFW. As a matter of fact, they're going to have a flag planting.
The Saturday before.
Correct, and then that will, and I believe Joe and John, I don't know who else, will be participating with that.
Yeah.
Then that's also an annual event. They have breakfast beforehand.
8:30 breakfast
8
at the VFW.
With the Boy Scouts, who also
Girl Scouts.
participate in Graceland.
And kudos to those organizations that do that and keep
And anybody's invited to participate.
our soldiers in mind.
And the fire department is also having a ceremony at 7 p.m. on Thursday, May 26th
Yes.
as well.
And don't forget the Memorial Day ceremony, Monday, Memorial Day at 10 a.m., I believe.
I think it's at 11.
11?
It's at 11.
Okay. 11.
Yep, 11.
I'd just like to say that they do great, the VFW, they're really giving, and they're just good for this community, so, our vets, they deserve it, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else to be brought before the borough, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Yay, we got Zimmerman, another one.
We're getting-